I've been interested in history all my life. And of course, one of the most famous incidents in American Western history was the famous gunfight, what they call the gunfight at the Iroquois Corral. But it really wasn't in the corral. It was behind the corral in an 18-foot space between the C.S. Fly boarding house and a little building, actually right behind us here. And that was so famous and all that I studied it. I studied the guns they used, the clothing they used. So when I got called to do the movie, it fit right in with my plan to do historically accurate painting. So I decided, early on in my career, in order for me to do Western paintings, I have to know the West. So I rode horses all my life. I collected the artifacts, guns, saddles, cowboy stuff. I rode with the cavalry. I was George Custer in the 100th anniversary of the Custer Battle, a little big one. I belonged to a cavalry unit, and I said to myself, if you got to paint a cavalry charge, you have to know what it feels like to be in a cavalry charge. And how do you pack a saddle to be in a cavalry charge? So I was asked to be Custer, and so we did a rewrite for the 100th anniversary of the Custer Battle. So I did that. I was George Custer, and one thing led to another. So that's what I've been doing all my life, is studying the West. And we also, I got a reputation for doing the American fur trade. So we handmade our leather outfits. We would go up in the mountains and camp primitively, just like they did in 1840. We lived off the land, so to speak, and we had no modern conveniences at all. No sleeping bags, no rayon blankets. We lived in buffalo robes or wool blankets, and my wife was a good primitive cook, and she would make us dishes like they did in 1840. And so we'd pack our horses or mules and ride back in the wilderness and camp that way. And what that did, it gives me a real feel for what it was like. And so I know how to load a rifle, I know how to shoot a flintlock. And so because of that, I got a lot of experience. And I did a movie years ago in 1979 with Charlton Heston. And they called me up and said, I want to tell you a story that happened on Tombstone, just to show you some of the how nice some of the stars were. We were out on the set, and it was very hot. It was probably 110 degrees, and here we are, the cowboys, and we were wearing chaps and wool shirts and wool trousers and boots and spurs and guns and all that, and it was blazing hot. Well, I was actually an extra, and all of our extra friends, we had 30 extra cowboys. They called the Red Sash Gang the Cowboys. And they had set up a tent shelter for the movie stars. And under that shelter, they had these beautiful hand-carved leather chairs, and they had the names carved in. There was Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Morgan Earp, and all those, the guys that were their head stars. Well, my dear friend who was with me, and one of the cowboys, he was much older than the rest of us, and he had a problem. He had almost like had a heat stroke, and so he had to get out of the sun. So he went and sat in not Kurt Russell's, but he sat in Sam Elliott's chair, and that's a no-no on the set. So I saw Sam Elliott and the rest of the stars approaching the set where we were. So I went over to my friend and I said, Bill, you got to get out of the chair. Here come the stars. Here comes Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott heard me, and he walked up and he said, Jerry, tell your friend to sit in my chair. He needs that shade and relax. Tell him it's fine with me. I'll stand out in the sun in his place. So that's one of the stories. It just shows you what kind of great people they were to work with.
The painting you did.
I was so impressed watching the movie. I didn't get to work with you. I was out with the horses, but so I didn't see your work. But when I saw the movie, I was so impressed with your intensity and the power that you put into that part. I had to go home and I had to do a painting. The tricky part is trying to capture a film into one image was really tricky. So I watched the film 100 times a year apart.
You know, the editing, it was so many moving parts, and there were so many interesting characters. That's what made it. I mean, everyone's different.
I know.
He's a
I
Shakespearean
know.
actor.
I know. Everybody had such a part to put together this great Western movie. So
Thank you so much,
so
Jerry.
we had to do that for you.
If I got one of you, Billy, he'd pay.
Yeah, I told him I would like to do.
I would be honored. You have an
Yeah.
incredible hand, man.
Yeah.
And that's just, that is stunning.
Find the photo you want, Billy. Find the picture you want. He'll do it.
That's just beautiful.
Aren't they nice? Oh yeah.
Have him hold it and then
But here,
between the guys.
mind if I stand next to you?
Please do so.